I always say everything's a 50-50 chance. It either happens or it doesn't happen. So you better be prepared for it or know how to handle it and be ready. I'm anywhere from 5 to 10 miles back in. I might have a 20-mile hiking day, or 25 even. Every day it's by myself, and then when I'm like hunting, recreating, I'm always by myself as well. Most people don't want to go with me because I hike too fast, they say. So I'm about 3 miles up the trail, and I hiked in the dark on the way up. I wanted to scout for some elk before hunting season. So 3 miles in the dark, I get up to this open meadow right about daylight, and a grizzly bear steps out with 2 cubs on the other side of the meadow. And I see her, we see each other at the same time, and she just turns and runs. And I'm like, all right, this is a good bear. She doesn't like humans. She's going the other way. And so I waited a minute, and I'm like, all right, I'll just head up the other direction. And I took a couple steps, heard a noise, kind of turned, and she had circled around the ridge and came in behind me. And she was 35, 40 yards, attacking wide open, 40 miles an hour, coming down the hill at me.
40 miles an hour, how much time do you have?
About 2 seconds hit for you.
You got
about 2 seconds at that distance. And I carry bear spray right here on the front of my backpack strap, and I've practiced it over the years of, I'm ready for it just in case, even though you don't expect it to happen. I just automatically pulled the bear spray, pulled the safety out, looked back up, she's at 30 feet coming wide open still, and I just started backing up spraying. And just her momentum and her adrenaline going, she went right through the bear spray, and all of a sudden here she was on me, and I just turned and went down on my face to protect the back of my neck and my vitals, and she chewed on this arm 5 or 6 bites, and then she kind of coughed, and I think the bear spray was getting to her at that point. It just took a couple seconds, and then she was out of there.
Had the bear spray not been there, or had you not gotten to it, do you think you'd be dead?
It very well could have. She may have just been chewed on me a lot longer. I mean, it was only maybe a 5-second attack, that first attack, just 5 or 6 bites, and then she was like, I'm out of here. She didn't like the bear spray, so it definitely helped. Nothing's broken at this point. I'm bleeding, but nothing too severe. I'm like, wow, I got to get down to the hospital, get some stitches. So I picked myself up, headed down the trail, and
still have the bear spray in
still
location.
have bear spray in my hand now.
Okay.
Yep, I only used just half of it, maybe in that short amount of time.
And at that moment, are you thinking at all there's a chance you're going to get attacked again? Or are you like, all right, I survived?
No, I thought, okay, I sprayed her, she's done, she had her thing, she's out of here. She's going back to her cubs, and she's a mile away already. So I'm like, all right, heading down the trail. But you're always a little nervous after this kind of a situation. Sure. So I'm nervous, but I'm like, I just want to get distance. And so I start down the trail, and maybe 5 minutes down the trail, I hear I'm right along the creek, and it's kind of noisy, and I just heard something. I turned, and she's 10 feet behind me, coming wide open again. She had come off the ridge, I think, and we just randomly ran into each other. I see her right there out of the corner of my eye, and she knocks me down on my face on the ground. I'm back in the position like this, bear spray's knocked out of my hand. I'm back protecting the back of my neck, my face, my vitals, and this time she's really unhappy. And her first bite is in this arm here, and I heard the crunch of the bone and just felt my whole arm go numb. And I made this like wincing sound, like ah, and that noise just triggered this frenzy of attacking. And she just was picking me up. It was kind of like the movie The Revenant. She's picking me up, slamming me around, shaking me, biting this arm a half a dozen times. Bit me in the side one time, and it kind of turned me, and for a second I looked right into the corner of her eye right there, that far away, and it was just like, oh no. Pulled it back in, and just everything I could to every bit of strength I had, all my core, just to keep as tight as I could and to keep her from flipping me and getting to my face. I just knew that I had to ride it out, and I blocked out all the pain. When you're in that will to survive, the adrenaline's going. I felt no pain after that first bite. It was just kept telling myself, don't move, don't breathe, don't say, or don't make any noise. She's gonna leave. And I felt for my pistol first. I'm like, if I get my pistol out just in case. And so I still hunkered down, reached for my pistol, which is in a shoulder holster right here, and it wasn't there. It had been ripped off during the attack, and now I felt completely helpless. Yeah. And so I reached up, slowly wiped the blood from my eyes, and kind of looked each direction. She wasn't there. She was gone. Saw my pistol right there about 10 feet away. So I dove for the pistol and out of the holster and hammer back just in case. And so she's gone. And so I'm like, wow, I got a pistol in this hand. This arm is completely useless. Tendons are hanging out of my arm, bones broke, nerves. So this is just kind of crimped up. So I tuck my pistol right here under my armpit where I can get to it quick. Bear spray in this hand. And I'm like, okay, head to the truck. I got to just get distance between me and her to feel safe. And so I started down the trail, and I went a ways, and I, stopped, and I looked to see how much, bleeding was going on. I'm like, do I need any bandages or anything? And it's like, well, it's dripping, but there's no artery severed. I'm not going to bleed to death. Just keep going. So I kept moving down the trail and stopped 2 or 3 times just to check to make sure I wasn't, bleeding too much. And it took about 45 minutes, 3-mile hike down the trail to the truck. And I'm like, all right, time to head to the hospital. Called 911 about halfway in and just said, hey, I got attacked by a bear. I'm fine. I don't need an ambulance, but can you just let the hospital know that I'm on the way so they're ready for me? Yeah. And so I pulled in. There was a doctor and a nurse and a sheriff's officer sitting right there at the emergency entrance waiting for me, and I pulled in, and at this time I've got so many wounds, and it's been like a couple hours now, so I can't even hardly move my arms. I can't get my truck in park. I can't get my seatbelt off. And so the sheriff's officer comes over and he opens the door up, puts it in park. He sees the seatbelt, gets that off. He's like, I'm surprised you had a seatbelt on. I'm like, well, I just survived a bear attack. I don't want a chance like dying in a car crash too, So anyway, they went in, did x-rays, and then about 8 hours of 2 doctors just putting stitches all over.
Wow.
Stitched me up.
So obviously an amazing story. Thank God you're alive. What takeaways for the audience that doesn't get attacked by bear or confront bear or show? Like, how could they apply what you learned in this experience to regular life?
Well, just the will to survive. No, whatever you're doing, never give up. It's like I was getting chewed on by a bear, and I was like, just wait, hold it out. She's going to leave. You can get through this, no matter what your situation, no matter how bad the pain. Just get through it. Fight to survive. Fight to keep going, and just never give up. This is a life-threatening thing that your life flashes before your eyes, and you're like, okay, everything else is a little. It's irrelevant. This is nothing compared to what I'm going through right now, because your life really does. You're like, what's going to happen? What's at the end of the day? Am I going to get eaten here? I keep thinking one bite in my spine. She's biting my hands and my arms. One bite in my spine. I'm paralyzed. I'm dead. I'm just going to lay there and watch her chew on me. And so a lot of things go through your head, like, okay, what else do you want to get out of your life before something like this happens again? In the last few weeks, I was dealing with my dad. Found out he had cancer, and he's doing well. He's had surgery, but he had 3 or 4 weeks there that were really rough, and that was scarier to me, more emotional to me than even my life being threatened. Just worrying about my dad, family. Is he going to make it through that? What's he going? What do I need to do to help him?
Sure. You going back out in those woods?
I've already been back out in the woods quite a bit. I actually, about 1 month after the attack, I still had a brace on my arm to keep my tendons and everything in alignment, my wrist right here, and I wanted to get out for the last couple days of hunting season and just look around. So I actually got back out in the woods, and I saw bear sign the first day out, and I was a little nervous. I was like, uh-oh. But I tried to just really paying close attention and staying away from where I thought there was going to be an issue.
Sure.
And we had snow then, so I could see if there was any tracks. I was going to make sure I would go that direction. But I'm back out there. I've been out this spring. My job is in the woods every day, and I'm by myself. So I'm in the backcountry. And
you carry 2 cans of spray now?
I got a bigger can of spray even, and I'm ready.
Right.
And I carry a pistol as well, and just hopefully I never have to use it. But it just makes me feel more comfortable.
That experience where you actually confront the worst case scenario, right? A lot of times, you said it actually when we first started, you said you start to get more comfortable. You see bears, there's no issue, you put your guard down. Now it happens. Does that make you more prepared in every part of your life?
I think it reminds you that no matter what you're doing, something can happen at the blink of an eye, and you just need to be prepared and know and be ready to handle it. And I think thinking those things through and knowing what you need to do to be prepared in other situations in life and be ready for it and not panic. When something goes wrong, be like, all right, I was ready, I thought about this, and I can get through it, and I'm going to do something to survive and to make it. And I think I'm a little more cautious out in the woods now. I was always paying attention, but this has just put another level of just caution, paying more attention out there whatever I'm doing, whether it's hunting or hiking or anything in life. It could happen, you could be out that quick, and you just need to enjoy your life to the fullest.
Makes you appreciate how delicate life is,
exactly,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're all a little complacent in the first world, right? Like, knock on wood, we all do pretty well. We don't have to maybe take the extra precautions, but it sounds like you've turned it up a notch, maybe.
And everybody always says, well, you've got attacked twice by a grizzly bear. You never have to worry about that again. Don't even worry about taking bear spray gun. But It's like, to me, it's like every time you're out there, that situation can happen again.